just getting interested in it.
Yeah.
So let's go into how candidates can kind of, because a lot of people are being affected by this. A lot of
Oh, yeah.
people got laid off,
Yep.
or they're furloughed, or any way you slice it, they got a reduction of something, and they're out looking right now. So what, with this influx of resumes, how can you kind of stand out from that viewpoint? Because you don't record anything audio to, like, there's no way of them seeing you, and all they see is a piece of paper with your name. So how are some ways that they can stand out from the crowd just from that alone?
Right. Well, I can tell you that there was a tip that I got from a recruiter when I was laid off back in my earlier days in my career. She took a look at my resume and she had a lot of positive things to say about it. But she gave me the biggest tip that today I even still use, because I was faced with having to look for another job. I was furloughed, and although I was brought back during that time when I was furloughed, I didn't know where my next paycheck was going to come from.
Right.
So I put my resume together and I threw it out there. And in my opinion, what separated me out from a lot of other developers and got me 3 interviews fairly quickly, was this one little snippet that this recruiter, suggested that I put in there. And she just said, just put frameworks and then list everything that you touch. Visual Studio, 2017, 2019, SQL Server versions, if you have experience with React, put it on there. If you have experience with Vue, whatever frameworks, if you have web services, put that on there.
I'll caution, enough experience that you can answer questions on that.
Right.
And because we will, when you get in there, people will ask you questions and people have stuff on there. I don't know.
And think of it as hashtags, really, is what it was. It's just hashtags of
keyword filtering.
Yes. And she said, as a recruiter, I don't really want to read all the fluff that you put on your resume. I want to see the key software packages, development environments you've worked with. That's really all I'm interested in. If you have what I'm looking for, then I'll read the details of your work experience for that particular job. So that really helped me out a lot. And another thing that I think would really help someone that is finding themselves furloughed or laid off is to beef up your LinkedIn profile. Really, beef it up. Make sure that reflects what your resume is, because there are recruiters looking at LinkedIn profiles too.
And to bring up another tip, put that on your resume. Put your LinkedIn at the top. Put your portfolio or blog, or if you have one, you may not have one. And also your GitHub. Basically anything that kind of goes a little deeper than your resume will.
Right.
And those are the 3 things that on top of mine are portfolio, LinkedIn, and then my GitHub.
Right.
So
and another thing that helped me when I was looking for another position was, I traditionally was never really one to like certifications or anything like that. I always let my experience speak for itself and things like that. And when you're an engineer, most engineers need the certification, the MCSD or MCSE, and that helps them stand out and things like that. But when I was sitting on the bench, I decided to take a look at some of the LinkedIn training courses that they had, and I got one of their subscriptions to their LinkedIn Learning Center, and
that's new.
Yeah, it's definitely new. So I went out and I did a lot of those training classes, and at the end they have these LinkedIn certifications that you can actually, once you finish the course, it actually puts it as a certification on your LinkedIn profile. And I really believe that really helped, because I did a deep dive into Web API, I did a deep dive into Azure Message Bus. I took their C# and their ASP.NET endorsement skills assessment. And that was placed on my LinkedIn profile. So it really beefed up my profile, when before all I had was just my list of jobs that I had worked on throughout the years. And then one more thing that I did is while I was on the bench at Code Authority, I was able to write a couple of technical blog articles, which I was able to spotlight in my LinkedIn profile. So that really made me stand out.
Yeah, you actually had one guy that read them, right?
Oh yeah,
Those read them. So
yeah, so
you never know what they'll pull up on you.
In my interview, one of my interviews,
stuff,
one of my interviews, they looked at my LinkedIn profile and they read the blog articles and they referenced it in one of my interviews. So that really helped me stand out.
Yeah, for sure.
But what do you think it would help somebody stand out?
Yeah, I think the same things.